Hey everyone, it's Anisha from the 5 Years to 40 podcast. Welcome back to another Ready to Love review. Now, if you're new here, please be sure to subscribe. This channel is a channel dedicated to millennials. Really, I share content to help us overcome the overwhelm of getting older. Because as we get up there in age, we could tend to get into our heads about things, about our age and how our life is going or whatnot. So I share helpful content. Try to keep the conversations around four pillar topics: health, relationships, finances, and our careers. But I decided to take on doing a review for Ready to Love because one, I really love the show. I've been a dedicated follower for the last 4 seasons, and it shines a really good light on relationships, especially black relationships and black love. And we're into love. On this channel, I talk about relationships and love. So it was a really good thing for me to do, and I've been enjoying it. So if you're new here, thank you for joining. And if you are coming back, thank you for continuing on the journey. So today we are reviewing episode 10, Ready to Love, Ready to Love, Ready to Love. So let's get right into it. The episode opens with Alexis talking to Amber. Well, not talking, more like shouting at Amber. And that was from last week's episode, where she was revealing what Ron the snitch had shared with her, that Amber had kissed Ron. So of course there's a lot of shock. The room is quiet because this implicates a few people. Amber and Chris are pretty much locked stock and barrel as a couple. We didn't have no issues with them. We know that they will be one of the couples going through to the end to this episode. So anyhow, they continue, and Alexis is a very wordy lady. She says a lot of words to articulate how she feels, and so she talks, but Amber is almost the opposite of her, and I do believe it has to do with Amber's job. Now, throughout the episodes, y'all know at the beginning when Amber came on, I was like, I don't know if she's ready to love, because she's so reserved and she's so stiff and whatnot. But really and truly, I think she's really deeply into her masculine, so she's very logical and kind of straight to the point kind of thing. So versus Alexis, who is deeply feminine, almost toxic feminine, but that's not what we're here to discuss. So she goes and she starts trying to explain. So Alexis says, just, I think that you were Judas to me right now, action. And Amber is just like, oh my God, this didn't just happen. And you can see the wheels turning in her head, and she's like, okay, very calmly goes ahead and starts breaking down what would have happened. That she had a friend, and she and the friend was going out. I think she said the friend was being deployed. The friend is someone from the army or something, and they were going to hang out, and they contacted Ron because Ron is a promoter, and Ron said he would get them into a really good spot for free. And I guess using the links that through Ron, they went out, and Ron must have joined them, and then I guess they would have talked or whatnot. And she said while during the course of the night they shared a kiss, and but it didn't really mean anything. Now it meant something, Amber, because really and truly Alexis was saying that she thinks she's a Judas because Alexis and Amber are very close off the show, and Alexis shares stuff with Amber. And so if you know how she felt about Ron or whatnot, and so kissing him kind of felt like it was breaking a girl code. So I get that. However, I also understand where Amber was coming from, because she said she did not tell Alexis because she did not want Alexis' decision, which was the very next day, to send Ron home, to be based on the kiss with Amber. She wanted to be based on what was really the problem, that Ron and Alexis do not share the same values. Ron don't believe in prayers. Ron believe he has to go out and do everything. He not gonna wait on God. Alexis is a deeply spiritual and religious woman who God presides in everything in her life, and that's and that's a wonderful trait to have. But so trying to make it work with somebody who doesn't share your values, even though you think you see them as some wonderful person, doesn't work. And if Amber had interjected and told her about that, Alexis, based on her level of thinking, would have seen it more, would have gone to Ron and want to eliminate him. In her head, it would have been about the traitor and how he kissed somebody who we know she's your friend and all of that drama, instead of what really mattered, that you and him do not share the same values. So even if he had not kissed Amber, or he kissed Amber, y'all don't share the same values, so you shouldn't make it a big deal or cause that to be the issue of separation, because in the long run it wasn't. And Amber's, based on how she thinks logically, big picture, I understand why she would have withheld that information. Was it right to do? No sis, it ain't. But I understood the logic of it, right? So let's see. That played out for a while, and of course the other person, like Chris, who is Amber's soulmate, was like, oh, that was a punch in the gut. He's like, I like that he and Amber get along with Chris. It really makes me feel like somebody needs to just take him and shake it. Say, wake up! He's so laid back. I would understand her doing something and I think, oh well, it doesn't really matter, because she takes calculations. She probably thought, you know what, I could kiss Ron. Tomorrow please God, he gone anyway. It doesn't really matter. I think that's what went down. Alright, so then they go back to AJ. AJ is saying he's still conflicted because he still wants Kyra. And I do believe that has to do with the history they shared. It's very likely that AJ and Kyra would have slept together. And that is why they are, that's why it seems like if it's soul ties, they can't let go of each other, right? So that's probably where that pull is originating. I am only assuming, but I believe that's what it is. However, he did say he wants to see where it goes with Alexis, because he realized Alexis is for him. Alexis is team AJ right now, and you know she gonna make it happen, make whatever happens to be with him. But of course, Alexis' behavior, where she's demanding to be number one, is turning him off, because AJ is a man. He don't want nobody be telling him what to do all the time. There's some guys you have to drop a subtle hint to. Some men you have to talk to over and over, and then some guys you have to drop a subtle hint and tell them what you want, but don't be nagging at them. So tell them what you need and don't be nagging. Let him make his decision, because this coming at him, want to be number one, I want to be number one, will turn him off. He is a guy who needs to be in charge. That's how it is with some guys. It is what it is. So anyhow, let's keep moving. They choose rooms and they move out to the hot tub. Everybody's looking nice and relaxed. And Liz comes out. I love Liz. And Liz epitomizes how walking in your authenticity makes you thrive in life. You know, because Liz comes out in a bathing suit that is a whole suit, and it is a mom suit, and it's striped. So you know, if there's any moms watching right now, you know there's two types of whole suits, right? There's the whole suit where you wear when you take your kids to the beach or the pool and with other parents, and you know, a more modest suit. And then there's a suit that you wear when you and Bae is hanging out, and when you and your girls are hanging out, it's a little more, right? But she comes out in the mom suit, and what I love is that she was not daunted by anybody or anything else that was going on, because Liz, that this is her. So last week I talked about how she came out with this really fluffy outfit, and I just found it was a bit much because they're on vacation. But really and truly, that is her. So she walks in her authenticity. So take it or you leave it, kind of thing. And that works for her, because Jason didn't matter. Jason was still giving her all the attention she needed, and he was fully into her, even though she had on a mom suit. So, and authenticity is a superpower. And you know, if you want to learn more about authenticity, I'm offering a course called the Bay workshop, where we're going to be talking about how we can build a life that we are always crushing on. And authenticity is one of the modules that we're going to go deep in. So please be sure to follow me on Instagram. It's 5 years to 40 at Instagram, and and you can be able to keep up and enroll for when this workshop launches. I'll be so excited to work with you, and it will be having a really wonderful time. So please be sure to stay tuned for that. Anyhow, back to the review. So Kyra comes out though with her itty bitty tiny bathing suit, bottom outside. Well, she didn't have much boobs, but outside, and it's hot. She looked good, but Kyra's reasoning for wearing the bathing suit is what I just didn't get, because she's like, oh, men are visual, so I wore what I wore. So she came out here to tempt them poor fellas and them. Pressure enough, AJ don't head can't figure out nothing, and then Jason wants to be with her, but he wants to be with Liz too, and the physical thing is probably what is Jason's strongest pull, because while he has great conversation with both of them, but Kyra is young and she's vibrant, and he's a younger person too, so physical has a lot to do with it. So she goes out there and knock out, and you can see AJ is completely like drooling in the water. Alexis sit down in the corner talking about it under her breath. But the bathing suit, she has a body for it, but I thought, she has a body for it. So do you boo. I don't know if that was I don't know if that is sending the right message to the guys, because you're making yourself like an object. But do you boo? Do what makes you happy. Right, so let's see. So Alexis is observing AJ's reaction to the bathing suit and to the conversation that that Kyra and AJ is having. And she's saying that she realizing how deeply he still like her. He still obviously likes Kyra very much. And at this point she thinks she's neck and neck with Kyra, and I'm like, again, Alexis is really needs to sharpen up her tools on reading people. At a certain age, as a woman, you have to be able to read people. Not the things they saying, the things they doing. Not the things they saying, the things they not saying. It will save you a lot of heartache, a lot of strife. Take the time to observe people. Because if she was really observing AJ, she would know that she and Kyra are not neck and neck. My boy have a definite preference to Kyra. And if you recognize that, she could have changed her strategy. But she thinks she's the same thing with Kyra. So, hey, whatever. Okay, so then Kyra in the hot tub started asking those guys a lot of questions. Based on the feedback, you see that there's a lot of tension between her and AJ. Maybe it's sexual tension, but there's a lot of back and forth with her and AJ. And Jason ended up even saying that he wants a woman to bring him peace, and her conversation didn't say that she would bring him peace. It's almost like she's saying, well, that's not her job. I get that, but remember, therefore, this is not just casual dating. You're there for, you say, ready to love, and dating for like and dating for love is two different things. And at a certain age, yes, if you are dating for love, you have to be willing to be the bearer of your partner's peace. Like, you have to participate like that, not just for flesh, not just for finance, but to also help that person to have a good place in their mind, a good place in their spirit, a good place in their body, because all those things would pass. Your finances might change and your physical looks would change, but as you age with somebody, you want to know that what you sow into their peace is what you're going to get back as y'all get older and as circumstances and physical things change. It's really important. So I think she needed to pay a little more attention to what Jason was saying, and it highlighted a little bit of immaturity again for her. But anyhow, we're moving on. Uh, AJ also realized that though, because he said that he recognized he and Jason having the same issue with Kyra being fickle. That's how it was coming off. That's how it was coming off. Because Jason was saying they're coming down to the end. They basically had to choose the last couple between him, AJ, Liz, and Kyra. Have to choose the last couple going forward. But and Alexis has to choose the last couple going forward. And Kyra's still not opening up and still not sure of what she wants. So it's not looking so good. Anyhow, so the scene change and Amber takes Chris to the side and apologizes to him for what happened between her and Ron. And she said that her explanation is that they were out with friends and Ron was in front of his friends, and when he kissed her, she didn't want to embarrass him and not kiss him back. And I know that's some BS because Amber don't really care, but no. If you put Amber in a position where she doesn't want to be, she would tell you, and she's not gonna act in it. And she said that in earlier episodes, because in the episode with she and Troy, when Troy was acting the fool, going around the place kissing on everybody, she exit on stage left. She's like, oh, she don't have time for this shit, and she really was not caring about embarrassing him or how he felt, because she just couldn't be bothered. I think she really wanted to kiss Ron. Maybe she was tipsy, maybe she was whatever, having a good time, because I tell you, she have a wild side, you can see it. And she just probably thought, well, Ron would be gone already anyway. He gone already. They know from the night before, she knew he was going to be eliminated. So she's like, whatever. It's a kiss. It's no big deal. But Chris says, oh, the more she talks is the more open she is. And he really loves her even more now because they're so perfect together. She's so open and honest, and I'm like, if Ron didn't say it, you would not know it. But anyhow, stay with whatever you like. She's open and honest. They ended it all with a really nice kiss. So I'm like, go ahead, chocolate, love. I love to see it. Anyhow, so wait, no, let me take a little hydration. So last week I told you guys about my little tea set. While I'm giving y'all the tea on Ready to Love, I'm also having some tea. Yes, I am. And this is from Luxury Classics Caribbean, and again I'll leave the link to her Instagram profile in the description of the episode. I'm also doing a little ambiance because I have my Renee Sensation dark chocolate candle going, so it's giving a nice little scent, and your girl is feeling really nice and relaxed as I'm having this conversation with you guys. I think in life you have to make sure that you're comfortable and happy, and set the mood for yourself sometimes. It's important. But just to ask, what are you guys thinking about the episode? Who do you think will end up being the person that the third couple? Because right now we know it's Vernicia and Joelle and Chris and Amber. Who do you think will be the third couple? Please be sure to leave the comments. And please be sure to subscribe. Like now, while I'm taking this little coffee break, this little tea break, y'all can go ahead and subscribe. Okay. So that was it. Alexis did say that she noticed that Kyra and AJ was arguing a lot, and she thought that would give her a competitive advantage because she believes in bringing peace to relationships or to her man. So I think that's the angle she's going to use going forward. The next morning, Liz comes out in her very modest PJ suit and long pants, long shirt. I love Liz. Oh my gosh, she is authentic as they come. She ain't trying to switch something up. She ain't trying to go extra sexy. She just, that's who she is. Vernicia and Joelle slept in the same bed. It's a big people show. It is what it is. And they are absolutely together as a couple. So, and she said it's the first time. So that means while dating on the show, they didn't seem to do anything more. Maybe that's one of the conditions of the show, considering how scandalous last season was with what's his name that was running around sleeping with he slept with Joy, and then the other winter. Yeah, so maybe that's a condition that they can't. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But Liz comes out, she was nice. Vernicia and Joel slept together. They look good. I like how he goes and he brings tea for her. Joel is just a sweetheart. And he has some things to work on, but he's a sweetheart. I really do appreciate him, Let's see, what else? Then the whole group goes into the kitchen. The women are cooking breakfast. They're having a nice banter. It's like a group, like you and your friends go and hang out and having a weekend together. I like it. It's grown. It's nice. It's something we should all be working towards. Taking vacations with your friends who are couples. I love it. Anyway, so Kyra is looking at AJ with this goofy grin and makes you wonder, what were they doing last night? What happened here? But let's not assume too much. At this point, she says that her connection with AJ is growing. And I'm like, what the hell? Woman, growing? You should be grooming, like cutting stuff out, trimming stuff down, shaping up what the hell it is you plan to do going forward. How it is you're just growing. This is like the end, almost to the end. Why are you still growing connections? Stop. Make up your mind. Hey. Anyhow, Liz tells Alexis that she's basking at the point of where she is with Jason. I love that. I'm telling you, I love Liz. Basking. Can you imagine basking in the love? Basking in love, like just being a total bliss, like comfortable. So I don't think she looks at Kyra as any competition. As a matter of fact, did I tell you guys she said that when Kyra came out to a little bathing, so she didn't even see Kyra? Kyra she's out. And I like that Liz is getting to experience that. Even if she and Jason doesn't make it, which at this point I feel like they might, I like that she's getting to enjoy peacefulness of her relationship where she's basking and being treated like a woman and good feelings. So I'm very happy for her for that. Come on through, love. I like it. I love it. Kyra and Jason though decide to go play tennis, and I guess Jason wants to have a final word at trying to understand where her head is at. They had fun. Kyra's like, oh, I'm competitive and I can play really well, but she can't play tennis for shit. But I guess they had fun. He ended up giving her a forward kiss for something. I think he told her if he won, she had to call him the sexiest man alive, and she did, and he gave her a forehead kiss. I like the forehead kiss. The forehead kiss is very endearing, but I noticed he didn't try to kiss her on the lips, and he and Liz were making out the night before. Kind of starting to see where Jason is headed. Right? So she said she thought the day before he was a little too focused on Liz, and he explained that is because Liz told him what she wanted. Liz told him that she wanted him. So he asked her directly, who will you choose? And she said she is still figuring it out. I think at that point Jason decides, that's it. Because how could you be figuring it out still? I don't want to judge you, Kyra, but I just think you should know. But let me tell you what I liked about it though, is that this is a great example of how women feel when men do that stupidness. Men don't do that all the time, I am hoping that from this episode, men get a look at this, flip the script and recognize how it feels when you are between women. Because throughout the years, that's how it always been. There's always two men. Always are allowed to be able to have two women that they cannot make up their mind on. One does cook good. One does make your body feel right. One does take care of your kids. One does take care of finances. Whatever. They always have the two back and forth that they can't make up their mind about, and it's like an expectation that women should just go along with the foolishness. And this is a great way for them to see how it looks. It's messy. And I don't care if culturally that's expected. It's not good for anybody. Like, you can't grow when you don't know what the hell it is you want. So make up your mind. I'm so thankful for the show, Will Parker, and thank you, Auntie Oprah, for this show, because it really shines a light on how the fickleness, when guys do it, how messy it is and how counterproductive it is, because you can't do nothing if you can't make up your mind what you want to do. Okay, a double-minded man is no good to anybody. And so Kyra here is showing how it looks like from a female perspective, but guys should also pay attention. This is what it looks like to the two women when they're looking at you, can't make up your mind, and expecting you to. And you see how things are just slow down and start looking messy and not making any sense. Anyhow, I wish her a lot of luck, and I hope that she gets to understand quickly what she wants. But so Jason did tell her though that she thinks she's being really selfish, which is the truth. And this is something that her ex had also said, that she doesn't open up, and she's saying the little things. It's almost like how David used to be saying the little right things, but not deeply opening up. And part of the process is to deeply open up. So Kyra, girl, you have some work to do. Scene changes. Alexis and AJ. AJ takes Alexis on a date up in the tower. He said he wanted for them to take a look at things differently and get some alone time. Two things crossing my mind here. AJ, why is this date up in the tower? Like, are you hiding from Kyra? Because him and Kyra have this talk a lot, you could tell. And Kyra did say that she found Jason was spending too much time with Liz, which was why she decided to retaliate and grow in love with AJ. So AJ is trying to play his card right, probably thinking, oh, let me take Alexis out a date far away from everybody else, nobody can see, so that I'll still be safe with Kyra. That's all I'm saying. You know, but in the conversation, you're feeling it out. They talk about spending time away. AJ says, he asked her if she could live out here in this ranch in the wilderness, you know, taking in the landscape and whatnot. She's like, if you can get time off from work. And I'm thinking, like, he didn't say we. He did not say we. He said, he asked her if you could see yourself living out here. And when it comes to relationships and men, keep the word in. A lot of it, you can know where you are with the word in. When a guy is talking and he's deeply into you, he doesn't say you, he says we. Like, you know, we should do that. Or, yeah, because when we did, and it slips out. Like, when they're excited or when they're talking about something, it slips out. Like, yeah, you know, if we did, they use the word we. And that's when you know a guy sees you in his future. But if you're out here and he's asking you are not saying we, then you're you and not us. And you should pay attention. Again, Alexis not paying attention. Anyhow, she says, oh, yeah, if you could get away for a week, and he's like, well, I don't know. I could do for 2 days. I can do for 2 days. Maybe a hot weekend. That's how I do most places. Not we. He tell you about him. And you see how vastly different his approach and her approach is. Not that differences can't work, but paying attention again to how y'all live life differently. He wants something temporary, a hot weekend, and you know, you spend a steamy weekend with somebody and you go on, you bounce. Alexis wants to spend a whole week. Differences. Anyhow, so she goes in and she apologizes for how she was behaving the day before, which I think was really important. I salute her for that, applaud you for that move, because she really was getting on too much, like telling him, and it would have been from her frustration from Ron, you know, telling him she wants to know where he is and he not giving her no attention and all that. So he says to her she's lucky that he doesn't fly off the handle like that, you know, get vexed when she gets upset, which is true. Like, he's commented that AJ is a man, like those men, like he understands women very well. So she says, yes, she appreciates that and she loves that about him. Okay, so personally, I think saying the word love just sounds a little desperate. However, I understand her using the language. So she didn't say she loved him. She just said she loves that he's able to calm her down. She said she loves that he's able to calm her down, and she loves that he understands that and he doesn't get triggered when she gets triggered, and he's able to bring her down. He seemed to be impressed that he's able to do that for her too. So he went right along with that. So good for you, Alexis, for using that. So then Alexis leads the conversation from this and starts talking about Kyra. She says, look how peaceful we are together and look how well we get along, and how does that affect you? How is that what you want? Like, wouldn't that be what you want instead of you and Kyra, who always quarreling, because they were quarreling all the time? And he says, right now for everybody it's between what you want and what is good for you and what you want. So, and last week we talked about that. So anyhow, she goes ahead and she asked him again about who is his number one, and AJ did not confirm that she was. I don't know what is Alexis' obsession with this number one thing. That sounds like something that needs to be taken to therapy, and understand that people have the right to make up their minds. They also have the right to change their mind, because you could be number one today and something could happen and somebody could decide somebody else is number one. And what are you going to do? Like fall apart? No, stop. Anyhow, Tommy shows up, y'all, on a horse. Yippee-yi-yay, like Joel says. Joel say, yippee-yi-yay. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't understand what Joel says at all. Oh, look, I'm spilling my tea. I do not understand what Joel is be talking about at all. Like, his accent is... but he's handsome, so you go along with it. Anyway, so Tommy shows up, and you know that a woman about to go home. So he starts going through, talking to people. Talks to Jason, ask him how he's feeling. Jason goes ahead and says he chooses Liz. Liz is going to be the person that he's going to pursue on the journey. Of course, Joel chooses Venetia. We know that. And of course, Chris chooses Amber. So we have 3 couples already, y'all. So pretty much game over. But we have to continue. So AJ, he has a long conversation with AJ. AJ admits that Kyra is not consistent. And while he's talking, all I'm thinking is AJ and Kyra deserve each other. If when the show finishes they decide to stay together, which they won't, they deserve each other. Because just like how he have a double mind, she have a double mind too. And they are 2 grown people behaving like children. Maybe they have this deeply passionate thing that they do when they get together, but they both know that they're not compatible on all levels, but they want to make it work. When you have messiness like that, let's stay on the side. 2 of them just make the thing work for themselves. Don't involve other people. Okay, so Tommy tells him it doesn't matter if he doesn't know what he wants, because he had to make up his mind. Like, this is the point where you have to answer the question who you want to go home with. Is now or never, basically. So they have a final date. He has a final date with Kyra. Kyra is, all over the place. She knows the things to keep guys hanging on. So she says some little things like she would like to go stargazing. I guess she wanted him to say, okay, we can go together. And then she knows how to play the field. And her quest to choose for herself and not to be chosen is getting in the way of this whole ready to love thing. He asked her a few questions, and basically she gave him some fickle answers. Just like how Jason was able to tell her that she's not being straight, he also told her that she's not being straight because the answers are surface. Jason tell her answers are surface. AJ tell her she fish trawling, dragging stuff out on the surface. She's not being deep. She ain't going deep at all. And then he told her she wasn't ready to love. So this was supposed to be an elimination. Yeah. Plot twist! Because AJ punked the hell out. AJ really liked Kyra. And you know what they end up doing? AJ holds onto her hand. So he tell her, you're not ready to love, and this will be the last day on your thing. And then they stay there holding hand, and he's like, do you want to stay with me? And I'm like, punk! That's not how the show goes. Now, I don't know if he and Kyra getting extra money for this plot twist and them. But that is people business. We're just here to watch, guys. So it seems no women got eliminated, because where it ends is that it ends with him begging her to stay with him, and yeah, that's where it cuts at an end. So we'll see what happens next week. From the trailers, though, I have to tell you, it sounds a little saucy, because I don't know if they're gassing us up to it, but it's looking good, because Liz seems worried strangely. Alexis seems worried strangely. Amber learns that Chris practices abstinence. I cannot. My tea gets a little cold. I cannot even deal with Chris. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. It sounds like it will be a good episode next week. I'm looking forward to it. Let me know what you thought about the episode in the comments below. Please be sure to subscribe right now. Do it right now, so that you know when the next episode drops, and that you're able to take a view in, and be sure to share this with your friends and your family, and let's watch and let's listen and let's continue believing in love. And guys, keep taking care of yourselves, keep doing the most, and yeah, please come back next week. Take good care. Bye.